Hi, Filter here. And it's that time again. Humans, episode 5. I'd like to call this episode Losing Purpose. In our last episode, we discovered that there is a formula locked in each of the synth's head to give him the consciousness. Also, we're discovering a few more interesting little tidbits about um, Edwin Hobbs. The story begins with Niska. In this episode, she's running. She goes to Leo, and Niska is really asserting the fact that her love of humans is kind of small, you know? Leo tries to give her some type of, I don't know, reassurances, but then directs her to Doc Milligan's house. The interchange Milligan and Niska is a very interesting dynamic, all in and itself. And he's quite oblivious to what's really going on to a certain extent until he realizes the whole pain thing. And as he's talking with her, he they have their little heart-to-heart chat about how about pain. And Niska makes the reference, or makes the statement, that she's not afraid to die, and to her, death is, I guess, being shut off. And Milligan kind of tosses in there, you're not really living, you're just existing. You should have a fear of death. Then that makes life even more special. Maybe Niska is going to come to that conclusion, but she seems to be, again, as I like to call it, she's in Skynet mode, okay? Now we get to the really, really messed up things here, and that deals with the Hawkins family. The Hawkins family, they try to have their little family discussion about what to do with Anita. And Laura's behind all this. I'm not really sure what Laura's motivation is anymore. It gets really, really lost, and we'll get to something. We'll get to it a little later in this video. But when they're discussing what to do with Anita with the family, each one of them has a very good reason. Joe wants to take her back for, well, if you saw last the last previous episode, yeah. But each of the kids has their own reason for not wanting to take Anita back, and it's very interesting. Um, Maddie wants to find out what the hell the deal is. She wants to find out if there is a consciousness in there. She's just naturally curious. Toby, again, he's, I guess, in love, and plus, he's grateful that she saved his life. However, Sophie, the youngest child, really is totally clueless as to the reasons. It's basically, Anita to her is a surrogate mommy, a best friend, someone who reads stories to her, someone who makes her dinner, makes her lunch exactly the way she wants it. She is the best friend. She's literally the most innocent in this entire thing, yet with a slight hint of selfishness because, well, she's a child, and most children, they are kind of selfish, whether you like it or not. Wow. Now we get to another part, and that is Pete Drummond. Pete Drummond comes barreling into Karen's bedroom without knocking, just to bring in coffee. Um, Karen was quick witted and yanked out her charging port, her wire, to throw it on the floor, and Pete didn't notice it. Or maybe he did notice it, but he's in denial. And it's a really, really I don't know. It's a really, really messed up situation. And she's kind of trying. I don't know. She's dancing on a fence here between being human and being a synth, which is already established. And thanks to Pete Drummond talking to the reporter, again, now it's a shitstorm. Now everybody knows that there's a killer synth on the run. Oh boy. The name Tom comes up again when dealing with Laura. And again, she's very, very standoffish. She will not talk to her husband. And again, when I watch this episode, I find so many things wrong with Laura. And the chain of events that I have to say, she kind of brings it upon herself. She's not being very truthful, and she's not being very open with her own damn husband. Eventually, thanks to Maddie, um, she's reunited. Anita, I'm sorry, is reunited with Leo, only to find out that whatever persona that was there is now gone. Unfortunately, this could be attributed to Joe's indiscretion. There, there is a point where Joe is trying to, get back, and he's really more determined to get back with Laura. And again, she's being so damn standoffish. It doesn't make any sense. Oh boy, Karen Voss is doing her own best investigation into the Smash Club with Niska, of course. And now, and as you watch the series, you find out that there are more synths on the police department. And I don't know. To me, it's just a very, very strange. It's just very, very strange at this point. I wouldn't know what to do personally. Hobbs is reluctant to take out George. He's very reluctant. To him, this is something great and yet something to be feared. He really doesn't know what the hell to do at this point. And you eventually find out that Hobbs was on the team that created the sense in the first place, which explains why he's sort of this, let's bring him in, let's find out, but he really doesn't want to destroy them. Oh, wow. Unfortunately, back at the Hawkins house, after Maddie finds out that there's something wrong, and then Laura goes through the diagnostic papers, and I'm sorry, Maddie goes through the diagnostic papers and figures that it was erased because there was sex involved. And Maddie immediately blames her brother Toby. Toby is completely oblivious because he didn't do anything. He's like, well, what the hell? But as he sees her walking around, he suddenly realizes, aha, Dad did it. But he takes the fall for his father. The reason being, he knows that the relationship between mom and dad is pretty fucked up as is. So he decides he's going to fall on the sword for his father. Now, unfortunately, this has come at a cost. He's now lost respect of his mother and his sister. I mean, that I don't know. In my previous video, I referred to him as basically walking, talking fleshlights. Is it really um, adultery when what you're doing is having sex with something that has an algorithm for personality and emotion? I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. And we also see the fact that Maddie has amorphized Anita. She's completely amorphized Anita. My guess is after watching Leo's reaction to seeing Anita brought into their hideout. Oh boy. Now Odie gets found in the woods. Odie is Dr. Milliken's synth. And Drummond goes out to find and bring back, to recycle the thing. But they discovered that Odie's disappeared. Nobody knows where Odie is now. Whew. Wow. And the question is, where is Odie? Leo dreams Leo dreams. He knows that this tree means life. There's some symbology there, but hey. Dad, Hawkins, and Toby have a talk, and basically Toby calls out Dad for his indiscretion and literally explains, yeah, I know what you were doing, but he didn't want to rock the boat, so he decided to take the blame. Oh boy. Oh boy. Drummond shows up at Milliken's house. And oh, by the way, thanks to Vera not really recognizing a synth that has emotions, doesn't throw Niska under the bus. Now, outside of Milken's house, there are these little stickers that they put on people's cars, these little flyers for We Are People rally. And that's where, and as he goes there, he hears the point about losing purpose. The one guy up there who's preaching about, you know, you could have these things do your work, do your job. They could, if you need sex, you could just do that. You don't have to date anymore. You can just do that. This is why I bring up the whole idea of how this would work if you were MGTOW or something, or not even an MRA. An MRA actually respects women. Surprisingly, you might disagree with that, but I really don't give a shit what you think. Just do the research yourself, and you will find this out. Don't look at pickup artist sites, but just understand that if you were an awkward individual, wouldn't it be easier to have that? We know what you have to go through to meet people. You have to swoon them. You have to do all types of garbage to get them on, to listen to you. Men and women alike. I'll give it, even with women, I'm pretty sure if you took a woman who was, let's say, maybe 50 pounds overweight and didn't look all that hot, wouldn't she like to have a synth to be a companion? I mean, a man wouldn't mind having that. I mean, to put it mildly, a guy who looks like Channing Tatum can get a date just like that. A guy who looks like Jack Black, not so much. That's all I have to put on that one. But back to the whole We Are People rally in the series, which you can see, it's almost like this weird formation of a hate group. And the weird, interesting thing about it is you see people of different ethnic backgrounds and women. You find them all there. They all realize that they have lost something. They've lost the purpose, And again, I just kind of wonder. I know people might not like certain jobs. They might not like working in a cubicle, and maybe the bright part of their day is to interact with the people in the cubicle. You know, um, People who work in restaurants, diners. I mean, look at a diner situation. The great thing about a diner, if any of you ever walked in there on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, you find the usuals there. Or maybe even during the weekday, you find the usuals there before they go off to work. They're having their coffee, they're BSing, and maybe the TV's on in the background and they're talking about the State of the Union from the night before, or maybe they're talking about the game last night or something like that. And you get to interact even with the waitresses and even the cook in the back. It's pretty fun, but imagine that being replaced. Again, I just kind of wonder what would that do? Where would our interaction go for human beings? That's all I have to say. Oh boy, like I said, now we get to the point where Joe comes clean about banging um, Anita, and Laura is disgusted. Joe still views Anita as a tool. Like I said, she's a walking, talking fleshlight. There's no real honest to goodness love there. There's nothing. It was just to him sex because he wasn't getting it from his damn wife. And as she's ranting about keeping it from her, secrets, and all this other garbage, he has the one trump card that he pulls, and he says, well, yeah, well, who the fuck is Tom? And she still will not give him an answer. And then she throws him out of the house. And that's the way the episode ended. Now, again, I am at a loss for words for Laura. I don't know what her fucking game is. She's deliberately hiding something important from her husband. She was standoffish with him. Uh, and in many ways, I'm beginning to think that this is all really her. And the thing about it is, and this is what's really mind-boggling, she throws out Joe but keeps Anita in the house. Where I would think, wouldn't it be easier to get rid of the temptation and keep the husband? But no, she gets rid of the husband and keeps the temptation. I don't know, maybe there's something that's going to be explained next week. To me, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But like I said, when we get to the thing with Drummond, I think he is really a step away from being a really really bad guy. I mean, he's there. You see, the seeds are sown. He's at a We Are People rally, which I guess is an allegory for sort of those white pride nationalists or white nationalist meetings that people seem to have, and he's that representation. And it is about what it always seems to be about: jobs, And but this goes a little bit deeper. This isn't about having kids with that minority or something like that. This is about your livelihood literally being stripped away, your interaction with other people being stripped away. That's what it's all about. I really honestly, um, I really honestly think that there's more to this, and I wish it wasn't so. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't forget my analogy there, but it just seems like it's almost cookie cutter. And to me, there's more that could be delved into. And I really honestly hope that the future episodes are going to show that, you know. Well, nonetheless, that's my review for this week's episode. Rate this video if you like it. If you have any comments, please chuck them in there. Until then, y'all have a good one. I'm Filter. See ya.